Okay. Welcome to the Crime Diner. We're a Jersey podcast, and on the menu is a variety of true crime, cults, mysteries, historical hilarities, and sometimes victim stories or guest stories. We do this within a Dinner with Friends theme. I'm Nydia.
I'm Dana.
I'm Cindy.
Last week we were live in Georgia. Woo woo, Atlanta.
No, stop saying that.
If you missed that, go back and give it a listen.
Yeah, and I think you should join Patreon and listen there.
Yeah, because that's where it happened live.
That's right. I mean, it's not live now. Sorry about it.
Yeah,
but
sorry about it.
Sorry about it.
You missed out. See what happens?
It really feels like your own fault.
Right. So this week we have a special guest. It's Dawn of Scottish Murders, and she's joining us all the way from the good land of Scotland.
Hey, everybody. Hi.
We're so excited. Dawn is going to actually tell us a story this week.
I know.
And we're going to get to eat Scottish food.
Oh, is it haggis?
We'll find out. We don't know. You know how the show works, right? We don't know what the food is.
Yes.
The funny thing is, she picked the menu.
Yeah.
It was not me.
Really?
I had no choice in the matter.
Also, I don't know if this is like valid for this meal,
Yeah.
but you're vegan, yeah?
Yeah, I am.
She does not. Just,
I was so good to you. It could have got really bad.
Well, that's good because I almost didn't date a guy because I thought he was Scottish, and I thought we were gonna go on our first date and have haggis. And I looked it up on the internet. This was like early internet, and I saw that haggis was sheep balls stuffed with rice and meat.
Not even close.
It's not.
No. Not even close. You looked up
It's
something completely
nasty.
different.
What did you say?
It's still nasty, though. It's still not nice.
Now, this coming from two women who eat blood sausage.
I don't eat blood sausage, but I will eat chicken heart and have eaten liver, which I'm not a fan of.
Yikes.
And I've eaten gizzards and all of that. So I
And
am
pig
not
feet?
opposed. Oh, love me some pig feet.
And her favorite part of a chicken is the butt's asshole.
Not the asshole, the
Cindy.
butt cheeks. Oh, sorry, it's a problem.
Yeah, it was going to be haggis. I was going to pick haggis, but then she said that Nydia would be okay with it, but Dana wouldn't. Was that right? So I thought,
Well, she did run it past me just yesterday or the day before whenever I saw her last. And I did say that, like, listen, I'm here to try anything. My main concern was that Nydia would have a full ass heart attack, like on the podcast, and we would like alienate an entire country. So that was my concern.
Wow. Well, I will say, I'm not going to say what we're having until I show you guys the actual reveal. But I will say, my wife tried it and she was like, oh, this is good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
All right, and we're gonna do all of that, but first the food. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do the food first. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
But
okay,
first
so-
the prayer.
So
All right. And we're gonna hear Dawn's story. I can't
Yes.
wait. But first the food. Let us pray.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So we're just gonna I don't know if you mind like hanging out with us while we try the food.
no,
and,
I want to know what you think.
Okay, great. Oh, you'll know because we'll hear it. You'll hear it.
It'll be obnoxious.
Is the toilet close by, just in case?
Yeah, right there,
Right behind them.
Oh, that doesn't inspire confidence.
I know.
Close your eyes. Y'all aren't supposed to see nothing. Ooh, I forgot a later.
You're literally
but it's
getting like behind the scenes here. We actually like close our eyes and do a whole thing. It's
Yeah, they're
Great,
not allowed
this
to
is
know.
great.
dramatic.
Oh God, I hope it's nice. No, I mean Cindy, it'll be lovely. I don't mean that.
I'm showing you because you know what it is.
Yeah.
And just showing you what I also made.
Well, take your time.
Yeah.
Do a whole display. It's no big deal.
Well, she knows what I made, so I just kind of wanted to show her the other stuff
Final
behind the
result.
scenes.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it was so good. All right, clap for me.
Ooh.
I'm gonna sit down, get in position. Scared. Don't be scared. This is something y'all always want me to do.
Oh, really?
That looks perfect. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't stop the recording. That's okay.
What
Nice.
is
They
it?
look good. Yep. Okay.
What's that?
Do you want to tell us what it is? Okay, let's just describe it. It
Okay.
looks like porridge,
It
but
wait,
like
no,
oatmeal.
I
But
didn't
like
make it-
smells like fish.
it looks like tuna oatmeal.
Tuna oatmeal, yeah.
It's not as liquidy as some of the recipes that I saw. I made it a little bit on the thicker side, more chowdery like.
Chowder. Okay, what's it called?
Dawn, do you want to tell us
Yeah.
what it's called?
It's called Cullen Skink.
Cullen
skink?
skink.
Okay. Okay, hold on.
Wait a minute. Isn't a skink?
Say it again.
Isn't a skink?
A fake animal to like get caught in the woods. Isn't a skink like a thing that you used to tell little kids that if you don't behave while you're camping, the skink will get you?
Wait. How about? Okay. Let me give it another guess. Is a skink a fake eel?
What?
I think the
God,
skink
no.
is an eel, like some kind
No,
of.
I don't
like-
think so.
Mm-mm.
Okay, can we get a little history lesson? What's happening here?
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
So this has potatoes. It
Mhm.
has I actually made it with leeks and and why can't I think of the word? The onions.
Did you get the
green
fish?
onions,
No, not green onions. I made it with
scallions.
Stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Put food in your mouth.
shallots.
Shallots. Okay.
Leeks,
Shallots.
shallots, potatoes.
Okay.
The fish, the particular fish that's in it is poached in the milk and in the cream. She's like trying to tear it down. In other words, she likes it.
It tastes like clam chowder, but with fish.
Right.
Right,
But it is actually made with haddock.
Okay, haddock. Okay.
Usually
yeah, haddock.
it's supposed to be made with smoked haddock, which is almost impossible to find. I actually called the actual fish markets.
Yeah.
And they did not have it. So I
Really?
actually had to look up multiple recipes on how to make it. Ashton is
God, I'm
talking.
sorry.
He smells fish.
So this
Oh,
is made
Cindy,
with
that's good.
poached haddock and milk and all of that wonderful stuff.
I mean, I've only had one bite,
Right.
but I am into it.
Ooh.
It tastes just like New England clam chowder,
With fish.
but with fish instead of clams.
Right.
Which honestly, I'm into.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I love clam chowder. Second of all, I prefer fish over clams, mostly.
Yeah.
As you can tell, Nydia didn't want to stop eating it.
So is this like a traditional dish that we would have if we were in Scotland?
Yeah, it is. It's just like a nice thick Scottish traditional soup kind of thing. So it's good on a nice cold wintry day.
Yes.
I'll tell you what the
It's
skink
cold.
means.
What is it?
It's Scottish for shin, knuckle, or hoch, a hoch of beef.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hoch.
Skinned knuckles.
Yeah, like yeah, it's like yeah, it's like that's what I don't know how else to explain it. It's the skin of the knuckle or the hoch of beef. So that
Or like-
bit of
Like you mean like a knuckle, like a knuckle?
yeah, like the joints and that, I guess. Yeah.
Like a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah. No, Lydia. No, Dana. I mean,
Instead of a knuckle sandwich, it's knuckle soup.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm into it. What's up with the bread?
It also said in one of the recipes, it said serve with a nice crusty bread, like nice and crunchy bread. So of course I had to make a bread from scratch.
Bitch.
So I baked bread in my Dutch oven. So this is homemade bread. It has a nice crunch to it. So hence the reason why I told you to bring the butter.
Okay.
Nice.
All right,
All right, let's go.
let's eat.
Why is mine ice cold?
Do you want to put it in the microwave?
Kind of.
Oh, is it cold?
That's because
Yeah.
Oh,
I
don't have it
cook
cold.
hours and I cooked like an hour ago. And so Nydia is like spoiled.
Oh
I am
no,
not.
not spoil. You got to have it hot. A nice hot soup. A hot
But
bowl
you
of
could
soup.
tell she liked it because she didn't want to stop eating it,
Oh,
Yeah.
even though it was cold.
even though it was cold. Here,
And
put
even
your
though
bread
we
on.
don't
And she gets yelled at by Dana to stop eating all the time.
No, don't stop eating.
like,
Oh, this is one of the
she's
spoons.
mean to me.
That's your spoon.
You're video. I can't see what you're doing. It's like delayed. So it's like Dana's talking, but she's eating at the same time. So it's weird.
Where's our drink?
Oh,
forgot
what's the drink?
Yes,
Oh my goodness.
I totally slacked on the drink. And then we had a shot of tequila, so we're no
Uh-oh.
good.
Yeah,
I do have a drink. I just forgot all about it.
She
What
brought it
is
in a
it? What
mason
is
jar,
it?
so you know that's gonna trash us.
Yeah, great.
It's not gonna trash.
Thank
y'all.
God you're not telling the story.
Oh, I love it when you tell the story though, Nydia. When you're drunk, you're great. You're just so good.
You're
I
a
love
lot of
drunk
people's
Nydia.
favorite when you're trash. It's just not Dana's, but
Yeah, you can
Dana
tell.
does not enjoy that. I don't know why.
Neither do I. So what is the drink? What's the drink?
since it's a Glasgow punch.
Glasgow punch.
Oh.
So Glasgow
Glasgow.
mule.
Oh my God, wait. I know what a Glasgow punch is.
We're gonna have to say that all over again on the.
Okay, all right.
Damn it!
Damn it, why'd you do the big reveal? I know what a Glasgow punch is.
I want to take a step immediately. Smells citrusy. All right, I'm gonna have to do
Yeah.
all this on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so thirsty.
I normally serve them their drink before, and I just haven't had. I just kind of got distracted. We had our shots this week, which last week we slacked and didn't have shots.
I wasn't feeling good. I think I got food poisoning.
There's salt there in case you, and there's butter here in case you wanted some butter on your bread. So in other words, it's that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bread is so good. Ooh, I was gonna take a sip before Dana.
Amazing.
Hurry up, Dana!
What's she doing?
She's heating up the soup because it was
Oh.
cold. I had finished cooking at like 1:20 our time.
Oh.
So I was home just setting up and everything. So it's been done for over an hour.
How come we
Oh.
can't see her?
I don't know because I've got it on. Oh no, I haven't. I
I
stopped it.
thought you turned off your camera.
Yeah, I
No,
did.
it's too
I
hot.
didn't mean to. No, but you know what? I'm sitting here enjoying your camera because it's like it's on slow-mo and then it speeds up, and all this the whole time it's Nydia sitting there and she's just like it's just in and out, food in and out of the mouth the whole time. I'm just having a great time watching this in slow motion and fast motion.
Lucky you.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so she's eating it now.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, I keep it light on the salt. So I actually didn't add salt. This actually has mashed potatoes in it. That's how the potatoes are done. You make them into
I can
mashed.
tell.
Mashed potatoes.
Mhm.
Mashed
Oh my
potatoes.
Nice.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Mhm. I'm glad y'all love it.
We never get fish on this podcast because Cindy sucks.
Oh,
So I'm like so excited.
Why do you not get fish on the podcast? Why?
doesn't like it.
Cindy doesn't.
I don't eat seafood.
Oh, do you not at all? So you're not eating it? You not tried it,
Mm-mm.
Cindy? Not
My wife loved it though, so I got a little bit left over for her.
good. Okay.
You should
The
have had one
bread.
bite.
But the moment you said seafood, I was like, oh, this is their moment to shine. This is their moment. Because they
bread.
I was like, if
Oh.
all else fails, I didn't know how long we would be recording, so I did bring my leftovers from Mexican last night. So I figured if
Nice.
all else fails, if I get starvy, I can eat there. But
The drink. We have to
the
try
bread,
Oh, you did
Oh, but we
good
have to
doing
talk about it on
homemade.
the
mhm.
The bread's pretty smacking.
You would
this
get
bread
this
is good.
on the northeast coast of Scotland. This is where it originates from. It's a town called Cullen in Murray. That's why it's called Cullen. So
Oh,
like the
Cullen.
town Cullen and the bone, the knuckle.
The knuckle.
The
Mhm.
knuckle.
I love it.
Yay! That's
my God,
one
this
out of
is-
one out of two. see what you think of the pudding.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. This is delicious.
Mhm.
I have a few more things to add when we come back
Mhm.
and actually put it on the recording and talk about how I came across this.
This is not a very entertaining part. This is why we cut
I
it.
know, I know.
Us eating food.
No, it's very entertaining for me because honestly, I can't keep up with you. See, Dana's laughing now, but she's not laughing in my ears. It's just weird. Because I'm
The
really
connection must be
entertained.
slow.
Yes. So yeah, it's very entertaining.
Right. I was like reading this article about like 45 times men like mansplain things to like the person who invented it. The way I was cackling reading this article, like about like this like scientist like woman would have like written this whole article about like I don't know fucking science shit, and they'd be like, clearly you don't know anything about thermonuclear blah blah blah, and they're like, scroll up and look who fucking wrote the article, you asshole, and then they're like, sorry about it.
Oh, they said sorry?
Sometimes.
Oh my God.
Or the times that men try to mansplain menstruation,
Alona.
and
Oh my God.
Oh
That's the best.
no.
it's like, are you for real? Really?
I gave Russ a Midol because we didn't have any Tylenol in the house.
Oh my God, he will use it. He will buy it. The
Well-
prices are gonna go up.
He was just like, is this gonna change my hormones? I was, you moron. Dummy.
Oh my God.
Oh, they haven't got a clue, have they? I'd love it if they could just have a go, like just be in our shoes for like a day or something like that when we're
Oh my
having
God.
that time in the month. It's a nightmare. Anyway, that's not a nice topic when you're eating.
Yeah. This is not red.
What?
She said that's a nice topic while we're eating.
Oh, yeah.
I know, sorry. No, it's
Oh,
not
some
red.
of the topics we go into, it's
Oh
like
my God.
we're surprised that we eat through it.
People are having a real hard time with Dahmer.
Oh my
On
God.
Netflix,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. It's a rough show,
I
but
didn't watch it.
I didn't
But
watch it
last
either.
week, Dawn, I don't know if you caught our episode that just came out this week. Dana's work is having a real controversial time thinking about what kind of bread that they would eat with the tumors.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Not this bread.
Mm-mm.
This
No.
is too thick.
Yeah,
There's too much chewing.
Mhm.
yeah. You want a wafer thin bread.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
that's gonna dissolve. Like what are
Just
those
right.
crackers that you eat with Jesus? One of those.
That's
Like
perfect.
touches your tongue and it dissolves. But then you have that the cracker to tumor ratio is not very good.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Ugh.
You would have more.
Can we put it in a blender and like pate it? Maybe a little.
It would totally be a pate. It would totally be a pate.
Mm.
Is that
a
how bad
jam.
how bad that program is to go into that, do they? Tell me
Oh my God. I'm full to the point where if I continue to eat, I'm gonna give myself a stomach ache.
Well, do it.
But the bread, I can't let it go.
Is there more?
Bread?
Bread?
Mm-mm.
Oh, there's a little bit
Like
more.
for later?
Yeah,
Okay.
not a lot more, but there is.
That's
a
okay. I'm
little.
gonna save a little bit now. Have this for lunch.
I am so upset because I had a few fillets of haddock left over. It's in my freezer,
Mhm.
and I was gonna bring it to you so that way you could have had fish and chips later in the week.
Oh my God. And you did it?
I slacked.
What kind of friend are you?
Not a
Hostile.
very good one.
Not very good.
Mm-mm.
I scored a little bit for thought.
Or just thinking of it.
So what's the drink like?
It's like lemonade spiked.
That's pretty much it.
Do you not know what the drink is?
Nah.
No,
No.
that was one thing. I didn't
It's
make
on
her
you?
do that was all on me.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that-
you made her pick the story. Oh, we'll do this during food. Hold on.
I know that I'm gonna need to keep my bread and drink this because it's tart.
Okay.
It is tart. All right. We're getting ready.
Oh, we're doing the
We're
pudding.
getting positioned.
What's happening now? Oh, you don't have your pudding yet.
No, not yet. No,
Right,
yet.
okay.
We'll talk about the food. We'll talk about the drink. We'll tell some stories, then we'll come back, do the second dish, and then we'll.
Sorry. Sorry. It came out. I thought it was gonna be silent.
Are you
Sorry.
making
I
room?
thought that was gonna be silent.
I was holding it like to like bubble it and like swallow it, but it came out.
Jesus.
I've been so good lately with
You've
that.
been so good lately. I'm really proud of you. God damn it. And then we'll do the dessert, and then we'll come back and we'll go right into the story.
Okay.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Say the name of this dish again.
Cullen skink.
Cullen skink. I'm fucking here for it. I love it.
Yeah.
The bread was killer, of course. And it was just like a perfect little vessel for this very hearty ass seafood soup.
It was like
chowder.
a bisque.
It was like a bisque.
Yes.
I personally
It was like a potato soup, bisque, like turtle soup.
turtle.
Yeah. It had the consistency of it.
Well, I don't eat turtles because I like turtles. I save the turtles.
Yeah, no, but like sometimes people eat the turtles and like it had like that same type of consistency. It was really good though.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm saved a little bit because there's a little left, and I'm gonna have that after y'all leave tonight, so I don't have to cook dinner.
Yeah.
But it wasn't turtles. It was
Haddock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haddock skink.
Yeah, it's skink, right?
yeah, it's
Which is knuckles.
which is the
Knuckles, yeah.
shin.
The skin of the knuckle.
Shin knuckle. Yeah.
Oh, shin knuckle?
Shin or yeah.
Oh. So, tell us about the drink.
I just went online looking for drinks and this came up. Glasgow Punch, and it is lemon, lime, rum, and that's it. Ice.
My understanding is a Glasgow punch is a headbutt.
yeah. You get the Glasgow
It's very
kiss. It's the Glasgow kiss.
This meal was just straight up violent.
Knuckle sandwich and a headbutt.
Yeah.
I like the drink. This drink could cause lots of mayhem.
Yeah, this is a very spiked lemonade.
It's super citrusy. Is there actual citrus in it? Because there's like chunks of.
Yeah, I squeezed some lemons.
This bitch squeezed a lemon.
But she couldn't bring a damn lime. Freaking for past that stupid shot of
Toilet
tequila
water
that we
tequila
had.
we've been
Oh, that
drinking.
is the worst
Oh,
tequila.
the worst tequila. And also, I gotta tell you though, I take that tequila without the lime. That's all on y'all. Y'all want lime on in your tequila? Y'all gotta provide your own tequila lime.
That's her bragging rights.
Um,
I take that like a beast, and that tequila
you're
makes you
nasty.
work for it.
yeah, that's nasty. This though is,
I like it.
yeah, I like it. I am gonna drink this, and I would get in a lot of trouble with this. Certainly, I
It
could
looks
see headbutting somebody after drinking this.
Yeah. That's why it's
Wow.
called. So it just
Um,
goes down so easily, does it?
Yes, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very tart.
Um.
I'm gonna apologize, right? It is very warm in this room, and then when we have a guest on the episode, I get extra nervous,
Yeah.
and I forgot to apply deodorant.
Oh, I hate it.
I left the house knowing that I forgot to
No.
apply deodorant, and I was like, okay, I carry a little deodorant in the car.
And when we record, just a little peek behind the curtain, when we record with a guest, we all sit right next to each other
Uh-huh.
so that we can be on the Zoom together. So we are particularly close. I mean, like touching, I can touch you.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
So-
you can't smell me.
So
I
From
think
Nydia,
you're-
keep your arms down.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Prayer position, please. You asshole. So I have to tell you guys something that happened to me. Last weekend, I was invited to go to a 40th birthday party with a new friend, a friend that I don't, we were sort of like maybe gonna date, but like it has turned platonic. You know what I mean? And so, but she asked me would I attend this 40th birthday party with a coworker of hers, or for a coworker of hers, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, sure. She's like, you gotta wear black, all black head to toe. Everyone does. And I was like, okay. So when I get there, the birthday woman, girl, lady, she was turning 40. She was in all gold because she wanted to be the only one to sparkle.
I get it. Love that energy for her.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. The whole party was black and gold. The food was stellar. It ended up being a Puerto Rican woman, so there was like rice and beans. Like, it was very good food. I was like, as soon as I saw that it was Puerto Rican people, I was like, oh, good, the food's gonna be so good.
Well, you're welcome.
Yes. And then like I was eating a bowl of the rice, and I went up to get a drink from the bar, and the bartender was eating a bowl of rice. I'm like, this rice though, right? And he's like, yeah, it's good as hell. So anyway, the food was good. The dancing, it was like, so she unfortunately is my age. I also will be turning 40 next year. So the music was all like from my high school era. It was like, you know, Nelly and like all like old hip hop from like the early 2000s and like Ja Rule and shit. It was so fun. Like, it was such a fun party. So the girl I was with, you know, everybody vapes. I don't, but like she vapes. Do you want to go outside and while I vape? I'm like, okay. So I go outside with her, and I'm sitting on a bench, and she's standing, and she's talking to one, like a former coworker, and they're both standing, and I'm just sitting there. And also, I know no one. I barely know the person I came with. I've literally hung out with her 3 times. Okay. So the girl she's talking to's boyfriend goes to go get their car. So we're like standing like around like a big horseshoe where you would like pull up and pick people up and drop them off. And then there's like a parking lot off to the left. So her boyfriend walks away to get the car, and I'm just standing there watching them talk. And also, this was open bar. I'm just gonna put this out there. Do I smell or something? Why are you back up?
I'm chewing the bread. I know you're gonna get mad at me.
Yes, I appreciate you. So he goes to get the car, and they're just talking. I'm just sitting there, and they're just like, these are all like therapy people, like they're therapists and they work in a hospital and whatever. So they're just like talking shop, I guess, and I'm just sitting there, and all you hear like off to the left is like a big like thud, and then a woman say, "You just hit me with your car," and I immediately am like, just hands over my mouth, because I'm like, I don't know these people.
You Home Alone that situation.
Yes, and like I don't know these people, and like my sexuality, I cannot control what I think is funny. So I wanted to immediately die. I was like, do not laugh at this person getting hit by a car.
Okay, let's go back to, you can't laugh at your sexuality?
No, I can't control my sexuality as much as I can't control what I find funny. And a woman getting hit by a vehicle, I immediately wanted to laugh.
Oh, okay, because it sounds like you think your sexuality is funny.
I mean, it has been entertaining, but that's not what I
Okay. So you wanted to laugh at a woman who's potentially been injured by a car?
She did get hit by a car. And so
It's nervous, is it not?
I mean, it didn't sound like he hit her very hard. Okay, but he definitely hit her with whoever hit her with the car.
Okay.
So what's happening, like in the vicinity of what we can see, we can't see them. They're just off to the side.
Right.
But they're in maybe a foot, 100 yards away, a football field away. We can hear it. It's right there. So the 2 people that I'm with essentially are staring at each other, deadpan, and I'm like, hands over my mouth, just like, what do we do? What do we do? And nobody's saying anything. And the bubble around the nobody saying anything just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I'm like internally just cackling. Like, when can we laugh? Can we laugh now? When can we laugh? Are we allowed to laugh now? What is happening? And nobody's saying anything. And I'm like literally looking like a tennis match back and forth between the 2 of them, and no one's fucking saying anything. And then the guy, whoever is with the woman gets hit, is like, you didn't even slow down. And I'm like, oh my god, he didn't even slow down. So now, of course, I'm like, this guy's drunk and he hit this woman, obviously. So then the woman's like, the guy's like, have you been drinking? And then the girl whose boyfriend it was that we're like,
that hit her?
She goes, was that Adam? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, bitch, that was Adam. Adam, like, we all know that. Someone say something. Your boyfriend just hit a person with his vehicle, okay? And no one is saying anything. I'm just sitting here like, we're just not gonna pretend. And so he just speeds off, pulls up to pick the girlfriend up,
right,
hits the fucking curb, to pick her up, and girlfriend just gets in the car, and I'm like, ma'am, this is not a good idea.
Right. He's clearly drunk.
Clearly, you hit a person, you hit a curb. She just gets in the car, and the girl I'm with looks at me, and I'm like, can we laugh now? Like, what? I'm dying the whole time, both hands over my face, like, what the fuck do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Right. Because you just want to know when to laugh.
Can I laugh yet? So I was like shaking, like I was like literally shaking. So they pull off, the people leave, like nobody like does
What about the
anything.
injured woman?
She got in her car and left, I guess.
Limped in
Nothing.
her car.
I guess. Nothing. Like I saw the group of people that walked by, so I don't know which one got hit by the car, but they were like easy in their 50s, like easy in their 50s. And I'm thinking, like, even if he hit her a little bit, that shit's gonna hurt. Like he probably hit her on her femur, you know, like on her leg, or like her hip. God forbid it was her hip.
Right.
So the girl I'm with sits down, and she's like very traumatized by the whole thing. I was not traumatized by it. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Of course, because you're not mature.
No, I'm like fully like, obviously someone got hit by, like I hit a person with my car in ShopRite parking lot one
You
time.
did?
But like, to be fair, I was a little stoned. I just backed into them because I didn't know that they were. I didn't know they were walking behind me, and I just backed into him.
Yeah.
And he punched my trunk like bam, bam, bam on my trunk, and I was like, my bad.
No.
Sorry about that. Didn't see you there.
I'm a little bit high.
Direction. So like, moving on.
Wow.
So she was like, we just witnessed someone get hit by a car, and I was like, yeah. I was like, are you okay? And she's like, I don't think so. And I was like, I don't think it was that bad. Like, it was probably just fine. And she was like, do I go in and tell everyone? I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't think that's the right move. She's like, tomorrow I'm telling everyone. I was like, you are such a snitch. And she's a Jewish girl, and she's like, no, I'm a Yentl. And I fucking just couldn't. Like, I was laughing so hard.
But clearly the person didn't press charges.
Well,
No.
clearly they were not injured.
No, I don't
because
think they
nobody
were
was
really
caught.
injured. I think they just
But
got.
it sounded loud.
It was loud enough that like I kind of feel like maybe they like bumped him and they like put their hands on the car and made like a thud sounding.
Yeah.
But if there was a group of girls, if there was a group of girls and some car hit one of your friends, you're not just going to say, oh well, you're going to like, you know, not like knock on the car or get them out or
Yeah, hell yeah.
aggressive, aren't you? So it must have been fine.
I think there was like this uncomfortable like nobody wanted to like rock the boat at the birthday party because it was like this girl's 40th birthday party.
Okay.
And like maybe it was family, maybe it was the person that hit them was a coworker. So it was like a coworker potentially hit a family member. So it was like this, all of these like things happening.
Remember that episode of The Office where Michael hits Meredith with his car? It feels kind of like that.
I while I found it, you know, not traumatic, I have not gotten over it. Like I haven't brought it up to the girl because I want to be like, did you tell the birthday person like that there was an accident? But she's like very fragile. So like I just like,
No.
I just want to be like, can we talk about the car thing yet? She hasn't brought it up, so I just let it go. But I was like, I gotta tell the girls about this. This is crazy.
You just wanted to have a
This is
big
crazy.
laugh, didn't you?
Oh my god, I did. She was like, I can't believe you were laughing. I was like, I wasn't laughing. I wouldn't call that laughing. I was like, I was fully fucking splitting in two on the inside. Like my spirit left my shell, my meat sack, and just fucking died in this, and then came back down and settled down because I couldn't believe that everybody was just standing there in silence. Nobody knew what to do. It was hilarious.
That's why she's not in a relationship with you. She's
Oh,
way
fully,
more
yeah.
mature.
Yeah, no, fully. She was like, I don't think I'm like emotionally like ready for like a relationship. I'm like, yeah, no, I got that. Like, fully understand that. And then like the next week, she was like, yeah, I had like a makeout session on my couch with this girl. I'm like, cool, like have fun with that.
It's a you problem.
I was like, you
It's
could
not
have just
me.
said you didn't like me. It's fine. I laugh at humans getting hit by cars. Like, I get it. I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
It's your moral compass.
Yeah, it's
Honestly.
skewed. Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit.
It's slightly fucked.
Yeah,
I mean, it has to be when you have a true crime podcast.
Truly.
Yeah.
My moral compass just keeps spinning and spinning.
Yes. It does not point north.
No,
No.
it's Weast.
I had a situation where my unprofessionalism showed.
Love it.
I
What
am
else is
I'm
there?
a teacher. And during a lesson, I said, we were looking for words that start with the letter L. Now, mind you, I teach 5th and 6th grade special ed, and this is like a very, very basic lesson, but it's a phonics program for dyslexia, and so we're just looking for L sounds, right? And one of the kids raised his hand, and he says lubber, and I was like, that's not a word. And he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, no, honey, it's not. You mean to say lover? And he's like, no, like in land lubber. And I'm like, no, lover is a way of saying lover, but in pirate accent. And he's like looking at me and laughing. He's like, no, Miss Apollonia, it is land lubber. That is a real word. And I was like, honey, I don't think so. But just for the sake of looking it up, I'm going to look it up.
Oh no.
And lubber is totally a word.
Really?
And it means a person who can't walk steady on their feet on land.
No.
So a land lubber would be a person who, like, after being on a ship for some time,
Loves the land.
is like walking around like clumsily on the land. So that means that
Really?
they're not a seasoned sailor. And I was like, egg on my face.
Yeah.
Taught you something.
He taught me
Yeah.
something. He had the silliest little grin on his face.
He's like, yeah, bitch, Google it.
That's right. He's like, I'm waiting.
He's like, Google it, you old bitch.
Dawn,
Yes. I know what's coming.
you were at a drag show this weekend.
Okay, so we love drag here on the
Mhm.
podcast.
We support it fully.
Yeah. And so I will just to caveat this story with Nydia has said to us in the past, if we invite her somewhere and she doesn't come, to tell her to make her come, because she doesn't want to come, but she wants to come, but she won't come because she needs to be forced. So I tried to pull that card to get her to come to this drag show, and she did not come. And she missed out because this was a fucking production.
Also, it was my sister's birthday.
Sister Schmister, okay? This is a Harry Potter drag show, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we walked in, and first of all, we pulled up, and I was like, ma'am, is this a church?
It was a full-on cathedral.
It was a full fucking cathedral, stained glass, pillar, like high, like big pointy ceilings. I'm like,
It was a steeple.
yes, a steeple, yes.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yes, I'm here for a drag show in church. So in my head, at this point, I'm like thinking, okay, like they're renting out the church, like that's a thing that happens,
Right.
like whatever.
Also, I don't know what church would.
But me too. So I was like, oh wow, this very liberal church, like we love it, love to see it. We fully support, all welcome here bullshit, right? And then so there's all like smoggy and whatever, and Cindy's wife, Danny, you may have heard of her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once or twice.
Once or twice. She's like,
I think she works for us, actually.
yeah, she does. Yeah, she's unpaid intern. She's like,
We're all unpaid.
she's like, it's so smoky in here, and I'm like, it's all the gays, obviously. Like,
Right.
it's the smoke
They're
coming
smoking
up. There's so much gays. All the gays in the church are like creating a fog.
Oh,
you know? So come to find out that like these people bought the church and they put on like gay events all the time. It's like it's a venue. It's called the Cathedral
With a K.
with a K. Yeah,
Oh,
and it's cool. They do weddings there and shit. It's
It is
beautiful.
giving.
Yeah. Oh, girl, you have no idea. So we're like, okay, Harry Potter drag show. Like it's gonna be like, a high school production. That's sort of what I'm thinking. What's gonna happen, bitch? There's a giant screen happens. Okay,
Uh-huh.
literally every theatrical dramatic clip between 1 and 8 movies is pulled and strung together behind fucking killer music. And it's just and we're all looking at each other like, oh, this is about to be a fucking production.
Uh-huh.
It was a fucking production from start to finish, 2 hours of drag, like before each person would come out, it would be all bits and pieces of clips from Harry Potter, from Hermione Granger. We thought Ron Weasley would be next. No, ma'am, the Golden Snitch. Then this bitch comes out dressed in like,
Oh shit.
I was like, girl,
Yeah.
like it was a full fucking production.
If you are J.K. Rowling, please
Amazing.
close your eyes
And
ears.
get fucked. Oh my God.
Also, Moaning Myrtle.
Oh my God.
Moaning Myrtle
Okay,
came
oh my
out with
God.
a full on toilet.
Toilet bowl, seat,
No.
like singing through the toilet bowl, sits
It
on
was
it on the
amazing.
ground like she's taking a shit. Fucking hilarious.
Amazing.
It was
Brilliant.
so good from start to finish. Dolores Umbridge gave me a little lap dance.
What?
I have not gotten over it.
Oh my god.
I have not gotten over it.
That sounds amazing.
It was so fun. It was we were screaming, howling. We were probably middle of the road age-wise. There were some
Really?
old broads in this bitch.
Good.
Shaking that dollar, girl.
Good.
Shaking that dollar. I was like, that's what made me think it was a church. I was like, oh, these bitches think this is some bingo shit. Oh. Nah, they were like,
They were ready. They were ready. And there was a little something for all of them.
Yes.
Because Draco Malfoy.
yeah, Draco Malfoy and Voldemort was the same guy.
Uh-huh.
And it
Or
was
is it non-binary person?
Non-binary.
Okay.
A motherfucker came out in a gold, what is that thing that boys wear when they have to play sports?
A cup?
A gold glittery cup with all
was a
their
banana
junk.
hammock.
Yes, bitch. It looked hard. Like it didn't look like underwear. It looked like a rock solid.
Maybe that was his.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
They were in
They were
full on
oh,
like chains.
BDSM chains, nipple, like a Voldemort mask that was horrifying. Horrifying.
Wow.
And I was like, and people were like, fucking into it. Fucking into it, bro. Into it. It was so good. Like it was so
Wow.
it was we're gonna share. I mean, I took 1,000 pictures and videos.
I was going to say, have you got photos of all this?
Oh yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the videos I took, I was like screen grabbing clips of them, like so that you could get like full visuals of like what they look like, because they were literally dancing on us, like right next to us. It was so good. Such $20 fucking show.
Wow.
$20.
Wow.
I'm impressed.
That's
but
amazing.
You literally look like you were wagging your tail.
Oh, I was.
Oh,
From the
we
minute
were.
I got there to the minute I left, I'm like,
And they had butterbeer,
Yes.
and that butterbeer.
yeah, butterbeer with
Really?
vanilla vodka. Yeah, it was on. Like this shit was on point.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
Yeah, you missed out.
Good.
It was.
Well, it was my sister's birthday though.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck her.
Not for nothing. She would be mad that you did not tell
She
her
should have
about
been
it,
there,
and
yeah.
she should have been there because she would have.
Would your would your sister
ass.
not like that?
Oh, she would have loved it.
Yeah.
I can't eat this. Her
Throw it
sister.
out.
No, I want to eat it, but I keep having to talk.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have to tell the listeners. Dana keeps putting bread in her mouth and taking it out. She's done this now 3 times. I'm grossed out. Somebody help me.
Listen, I have deodorant on, so shut the hell up. It's a crusty piece of bread, and I don't want to lose
She's
it.
not owning it.
Trying to talk. Her sister would have loved it because her sister loves Harry Potter as much as the rest of us. I don't know how she feels about drag. But
Oh, she would have ate it up.
it was
Yeah.
so fun. I want to go to every
Would've been-
production they have there.
That would have been a good birthday present as well, taking her there.
No.
Her kids
She missed
planned
out.
Oh
it.
God, kids! These kids ruin everything.
I know.
Let's have dessert because I'm
Yeah.
tired of you soaking that
All right,
bread.
I'm gonna stop chomping on this bread. Let's have dessert.
Poor Dawn has to go to sleep soon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's fine.
Welcome to our dilemma here. Okay, I gotta. So I'm gonna pull one out and
It's
then I'll
bread.
build the other
You
one.
have some bread.
No, I brought.
Oh
I'm gonna pull one out, the first one out, and then we'll talk about it.
You're gonna okay.
Oh my god.
Probably we might need more spoons.
Close your eyes.
My armpits are soaking wet.
I hate you.
Oh my god, Nydia,
at-
why?
I don't know. Come here, get away.
No, get out of here.
You're gonna need
I don't like you
spoons.
that much. All right.
A spoon?
Oh, they
Yeah,
look
you're gonna need
amazing.
spoons, bitches.
Okay, go get it.
Yeah, they look
Work here,
huge.
bitch.
Cindy, they look massive.
They're actually not that big. Well, you know what? That's
Okay,
probably
fire.
why it's about a cup.
Wow, look at how beautiful that is.
Also, I didn't fill that one
Alright.
up too much. I kind of like it's more
Is this
like
mine?
it's solid, a hollow on the middle because I didn't have enough.
Is this one mine?
Oh.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Cindy,
that's
are you
yours.
going to eat this time, Cindy?
I am definitely going to try to
Yes.
leave myself some of this. I actually tasted it at home, so that was
Uh-huh.
the good thing.
What?
'Cause I actually like this one,
Good.
and the whipped cream.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
looks good.
You know, it's a
Perfect.
trifle.
Hmm.
Lydia,
What?
you cheating?
What do you mean?
It's over. The ship has sailed. We're
Yeah.
done.
But is that extra? No. I already have that, right?
Yes, you already have that.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna make yours as pretty, Dana. I'm
All right,
sorry.
what else is new?
Mm.
I left some raspberries, but I'm just gonna. That one I had to do for the pictures.
You see how she does us dirty, right? She makes a beautiful one, takes a picture of it, leaves it at home for her wife, and then just brings us the slop and puts it together. That's what happens normally.
Has Danny tried it already?
Oh yeah. Actually, a lot of times I actually taste it at home before I bring it in, so that way I know if it tastes proper.
Mm-hmm. And what?
Lydia, you want a raspberry, bitch?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Give me the thing.
Thank you. Now I want to go
Strawberry.
visit. Now I want to go visit Scotland.
Bitch, I would love to go visit Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fuck around.
They got good food.
Yeah, we do.
Do you oh, you don't actually eat haggis because you don't eat meat,
Nope.
right?
Mm-mm. No, I
Do
never. Even
you-
when I did, I never ate it. Well, I've like tried it a little bit, but it's just
That
the
was a
thought.
suggestion from Crime Diners,
Do
actually.
people
Yeah.
actually- like,
That
do
was what
people eat it?
Jill suggested.
Do people eat it on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Haggis. It's haggis, nips, and tatties. That was what the suggestion was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Cindy?
And I fully looked into it, but we have
Yeah.
one tiny hole in the wall European market, and I was like,
You were afraid they
They-
didn't have it?
they didn't.
Oh.
Oh.
So
She
because
It's just
that I
such a
would have
point.
definitely because that I would have definitely tried.
goes, I mean, I never ate it, but you guys should try it.
Yeah.
But that I would have definitely tried.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it, but
I don't want to touch it.
well, they do a
I was-
vegetarian one as well. I've had that one. It's nice.
A veggie one?
Yep, I've had that.
What is it? What is it?
Dunno.
What's in it?
I don't
Because
know.
It's made with oats
Because this-
initially.
This I'm you know, so okay, so locally here in New Jersey, it's not even all in America. It just happens to be in like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, potentially New York area. There is something here called scrapple.
Oh, I love scrap.
Okay.
too.
Uh-huh.
And scrapple is like basically when they like butcher all of the pig and like all the stuff that's left over, like I don't know, the
The
fucking
snout.
snout and the tail and
tail.
the hands and shit.
The asshole.
Yeah, like the innards and shit. Fucking disgusting.
Cindy's
like-
favorite bit.
Yeah, right.
I've eaten it a few times, and they just taste like sausage.
No, it does not.
Similar.
And I don't eat sausage anyway, but no, it does not. But
No.
it's like flattened into like this square, like hard, and then you no, like a rock, like a loaf, like a big, ugly, gross looking loaf. And then you slice it and they fry it, and it's foul. And I was talking to this girl this morning because there's a restaurant up where she lives, and it's a biscuit restaurant. Like you go there and get biscuits and like biscuits and gravy, biscuits and sandwiches, whatever. And she's like, they have vegan scrapple. And I was like,
Oh.
you just made a very gross thing sound less appealing. Vegan scrapple. Like, that did not make it sound any better. I was like, what is it made out of? And she was like, mushrooms. I was like, okay, actually, I would get behind
Oh
that.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
100% I would get behind
That
that.
probably was. I would say haggis would probably be the vegetarian haggis. Would probably be mushrooms.
All right.
I could see
But
it being
it's
that.
straight from the person who would have had
She
it.
said she didn't have it.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Oh.
She said it was nice.
Oh, but she didn't know what was in it.
Oh.
Oh, the
But
vegetarian one. Yeah, no, it was nice. No, the only thing about the normal haggis is it's in a sheep's stomach. Is that not what it is?
Disgusting.
That's
So
why I
it's-
can't know.
Yeah, no.
I was researching it, and it is heart, liver,
Yeah.
and lung from sheep.
hmm
And then they take the intestine and wrap it in the intestine.
It's just
So-
disgusting.
It's like sausage.
And then it's like they add oats to it and some spices and flavors to it. So,
No.
but the haggis and tatties is actually like you cut it out of that. You don't actually serve it in the intestine. You cut it out of that, and you just like do like a patty on top of the other stuff. And then in the one reaction video I was watching, there's like a sauce, and the guy was like tearing it up. He's like, "This is fantastic," and I was like, "This made me kind of want to try it." Just watching him. However, haggis was banned in the States for a long time.
Yeah.
And then was allowed to come back, but it had to omit the sheep's lung
Mm.
portion out
cigarettes.
So they smoke.
Cigarettes are bad for you. I'm gonna need. I would be willing to try it.
I would love to send you some, but I don't think it would get to you, would it?
I mean, yeah. Let me finish that statement by saying I would love to try it, but I'm gonna need that shit prepared by Gordon Ramsay or somebody professional. Like, I want that shit, you experimenting on that shit in the kitchen and being like, "Here's haggis." I'm like, "It's great."
You would have to just eat it in Scotland.
Perfect. Yeah, I love to have.
Now we have an excuse.
Now we have to go to Scotland.
We've always had that.
Imagine someone going to Scotland just to try haggis. Like, hey, I'm here for the haggis. Not here for the rolling, beautiful green hills. Like,
For the castles.
yeah, the castles, right?
Or the tablet. I need to send you some tablet. Mind I was going to send you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's
It's
that?
hard. Mouthful of
It's-
sugar.
It's like a crumbly fudge,
Oh, I want that.
Hard.
Okay.
but
Hard.
caramel
Really.
fudge.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want that.
Mhm.
I'm going to send you some because it's just
Ooh.
the best thing ever.
And we'll send you some scrapple. You'll love it.
Oh no. You keep that. It sounds
If
almost
they
like
would
this.
arrive, she should get like the Jersey tomatoes or something like that. Oh,
It would just take too long to get there.
yeah, no, they'd be done by the
I mean,
Oh.
pork roll, of course, but she don't eat pork roll.
time.
So what do you think of the Cranachan then?
It's delicious.
Is it?
Yeah, it's delicious.
I have a bite left.
Cool.
When you don't hear me talking, you know what it's
Yeah, yeah.
You know what it's
She's
about.
still holding the bread in the other hand. You
Here's why. This has a very tart taste because of the raspberry.
Mm-hmm.
So I take a little piece of the salty bread, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
you're-
good again.
No.
That's some big brain shit right
empty.
there.
Yay. That's brilliant.
Yeah, you just moan.
Go fuck yourself.
You're like, you did that.
I've been doing a lot of moaning lately.
Ew. Oh, and
Your neighbors
Ranta.
must love that. Your neighbors must really love that.
Mhm.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
And-
You're not
so-
were you
so-
on the sheet?
okay, so I told y'all. So our neighbors at the beginning when me and Danny got together, our neighbors like about 6 months after me and Danny got together, and they were like, so we can, y'all guys are loud.
No.
We can hear y'all conversations, but I know it wasn't the conversations they were hearing because after about like I found out that one of our windows, and I always wondered why is the bedroom extra cold? One of the windows from the top was actually open all year round, that whole year. So we were clearly being heard,
Nasty.
and we were being
Embarrassing.
very vocal. It had been 3 years since I had been with someone. It was coming.
I would have burned the house down and moved.
Well, the
that's what
neighbors
happened.
attempted to burn the house.
Two people died in that. That's not funny. That was comfy.
How you feeling now? Look how red her face is, bro.
It's Dana's fault. I can't help it, like my sexuality.
Literally every time I say something inappropriate, I'm like, I can't control that. Just like my sexuality.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right, are we ready?
All right, we can talk about it.
Hold on. I have gas.
Nothing new.
Oh, God, are you throwing up?
No.
That one was extra aggressive. That's one of the most aggressive ones I've ever heard.
Okay, stop. Guess. Stop it.
Yeah,
That's
very
you, boo-boo.
I need more bread. I need more bread. Is there
There's
bread?
no
is
more
gone? Sorry
bread.
about it. All right, fine.
Was it
Bread
too
was
tart
good.
for
I like some
you?
good bread.
Oh my god.
But
Were the strawberries too tart, eh?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Say it again.
Were the strawberries, is it too tart?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Okay, say what this is again.
I'm gonna let her say it.
Oh, okay.
Done.
Cranachan.
Granathin?
Kranikin.
Cranachan. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure we're saying that wrong. But so what is this specifically?
It's a whipped cream. I made a whipped cream with honey and whiskey, smashed some raspberries. I also toasted some oatmeal, like oats. And so I layered it up, added some oats on the top, and that's what you get.
And
Yeah.
in Scotland, it is called the uncontested king of Scottish desserts.
Oh.
There you go.
Uncontested.
There you are.
That feels like a prestigious award, honestly.
No, it's well, it's according to Wikipedia.
Oh, the literary giant.
Yes.
I really like this dessert. It's not overly sweet. It is a little tart with the raspberries, but the whipped cream is so good. Is whiskey in it, you said?
Whiskey and honey.
Wow. Yeah, I like this. Nydia scraped her plate, of course.
The whiskey's not cooked out of it though.
No,
honey. No, nothing.
Because I was like, I feel extra lightheaded.
It's only 2 tablespoons of whiskey in that whole thing. You are not lightheaded from that. You're
Oh,
lightheaded.
You're
from-
lightheaded from the
from the
headbutt.
drink.
Yeah.
From the headbutt drink.
Yeah, I'm into this dessert. I would
Yeah,
eat
it's
this
good.
again and again, and it feels so light.
It feels healthy. even.
Yeah, it feels so light. Like you could eat this and just keep eating this and be like sitting and eating this
Yeah.
and never stop eating.
I don't know why I'm gaining weight. This is healthy.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing in it. Yeah,
Cindy, you did good.
yeah, it's great. This is a podcast. They can't hear thumbs up.
Yeah. I'm telling
Anything else? We're good.
We're good. I want to hear that story.
Are you ready to tell us about a Scottish murder?
Yes.
All right.
That doesn't sound confident.
We're ready to hear it. We're so delighted.
Well, it's a bit
that
of a
you're here to tell us the
mystery.
story.
It's a mystery. It's up to you to debate whether you think it's a murder or not.
Oh shit, we love that.
I know. I love a
Okay, great.
mystery too.
Okay, let's set the stage though. We love to interrupt. So
Okay.
we're gonna raise our hand so that you stop talking and then we interrupt you.
We're gonna say that we're gonna do that. We're definitely not gonna do
I'm just gonna
that.
talk right over you.
But that's fine. Can you hear me all right? I'm not cutting out or anything.
No, you
No,
sound
you're
great.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay, hold on. Let me start. Okay, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Right, okay. So in this story, today I'm going to take you on a wee tour of Scotland, as you've had the Cullen skink, which originates from the east coast of Scotland, or the northeast of Scotland. But in the story today, which Cindy, you can open the pictures and the map and all that, it's going to take place on the Isle of Arran, which is off the west coast of Scotland, back in 1889. On a mountain called Goatfell.
I'm already so excited because I love old stories.
Yay! It's all right. So, oh yeah.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
Oh, I saw a hand up. I'm a bit behind. So, have you got the pictures and everything?
Yes.
So I've done a little map, and it's just like everything I'm going to say is going to be coming like as if it's from, like, you know, see where Glasgow is on the west coast. So I'm going to tell you how far it is from, everything is from Glasgow. So you kind of have an idea.
Okay.
Oh, so the drink was perfect.
Yeah, you did good. You're just reading my mind now, Cindy.
I try.
Yeah, you did.
I learned
And
from
if-
these two.
and the pictures are just, you can look at them as I'm telling the story of who each person is. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, let's go. Okay, so the Isle of Arran is on the west coast of Scotland, which I said it's just off the west coast of Scotland. It's about a 2.5 hour drive and ferry trip southwest of Glasgow. Just to give you a wee bit background, the Isle of Bute lies just north of the Isle of Arran, and it's a 1 hour and 49-minute drive and ferry trip west of Glasgow. And the Isle of Bute, it was a popular holiday destination for Glaswegians back in the day. So back in the 1889, it was steamboats that carried the passengers to the Isle of Bute and Isle of Arran. And a lot of them would take day trips. They would stay in the Isle of Bute, but they would go on day trips to the Isle of Arran. And this is how the two main characters in my story came to meet. God, now I'm sweating. I'm taking over from you, Nadia. I'm dead nervous now.
No, you're killing it. You're doing
Yeah. Your voice
Okay.
is so like it's
It's
like a sing song.
great. Perfect for podcasting. Absolutely.
Oh God, okay. Okay, so there was 25-year-old John Watson Laurie, and he came from Coatbridge, which is 26-minute drive east of Glasgow. John Laurie, he was a pattern maker, which is described as a mold maker. So that was his job. And then there was also 32-year-old Edwin Robert Rose, and he came from South London down in England, which is about a 7-hour journey south of Glasgow. And he worked as a builder's clerk. So it was the beginning of July in 1889, and both John Laurie and Edwin Rose, they decided to take a holiday from their work and head to the Isle of Bute. So Edwin was just going for, a holiday to see a wee bit of Scotland, but John Laurie was heading to the Isle of Bute because he'd found out that his ex-girlfriend was headed there with her new man, and he wanted to go and, check them out, see what was going on.
Oh shit.
Anyway, so it was the 6th of July, and John Laurie, he leaves Glasgow and he arrives at Port Bannatyne on the Isle of Bute. He checks into a guest house called Iona Place, and it's run by Mrs. Curry. But he checks in under the name John Annandale. But now this might seem a bit odd to us, and we're probably thinking, what's he up to? He's trying to hide his identity. But apparently, back then, it wasn't really a big deal. It was like when you went on holiday, you could just be whoever you wanted to be, pretend that you were somebody you weren't. So when he went on holiday, he was pretending he was John Annandale. So it's not a big deal. He wasn't really trying to hide or anything. Anyway, so the holiday started on the 6th of July for John Laurie. And on the 12th of July, he decides to go on a steamboat day trip to the Isle of Arran. And it was on the steamboat that he met Edwin Rose for the first time. So Edwin Rose, he was also staying on the Isle of Bute. And the pair they'd seen, it's only a small island, so they'd seen each other about. So when Edwin had seen John on the boat, he went over and approached him and said, hello, I think we've seen each other about, just wanted to say hello. And they just had a wee chat. So Edwin was with another couple of men that he'd met at his accommodation on the boat. One was Francis Meikle and William Thom. John Laurie was also on the boat with another man called James Aitken, who he'd met at his accommodation. I am getting somewhere, honestly. It's not just a wee trip around the island.
You're good.
I'm trying to follow the story.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so just to give you an idea, the Isle of Bute is about 47 square miles or 122 square kilometers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's tiny.
Yeah, and the Isle of Arran is around 166 square miles and 432 square kilometers. So they're not massive. So, you know, you can just bump into people and, you know, that's how, so they knew each other, seen each other around. Anyway, while they're on the boat, they're still having their little chat, and Edwin looks up onto Arran and he sees Goatfell Mountain. So I sent you a picture of Goatfell Mountain. You can have a look.
Yeah.
So there's that. And it's the highest point on the Isle of Arran, standing at 874 meters or 2,867 feet.
Wow.
And Edwin said to John, "Oh, no, I've always wanted to, I really fancy climbing that, but I don't, you know, I'm not local. I don't fancy going by myself." And John said, "Well, I'll happily be your tour guide." So they agreed that they would go up together. So that was fine. So John Laurie, he got off the boat at Arran and he went and he booked accommodation on Isle of Arran for the week. But then he went back on the boat again with Edwin and Francis and Meikle and headed back to Bute again. After they'd spent a wee bit of time around the Isle of Arran, but anyway, they went back to Isle of Bute that night, and they stayed in Edwin's hotel. All four of them. That's where they stayed the night. That was fine. Oh, they stayed there because Edwin's hotel was a lot more fancier than John, so he, you know, was wanting to stay with him and, you know, live it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So the next day, let's have a drink. On the 13th of July, Saturday the 13th of July, John, Edwin, Francis and William, they took the steamer boat back to the Isle of Arran and they headed to the accommodation that John had booked the day before on the Isle of Arran. And he checked himself in and Edwin under his name, John Annandale. But he hadn't booked accommodation for the other two, but they sorted themselves out. But then that evening, the four of them went to a friend of Francis and William's called Andrew Gilmore, who was a medical student. He lived sort of just along the road in a place called Corrie on the Isle of Arran. And it was like a 15-minute drive from his accommodation in Brodick. Are you following okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
So
taking it all in.
Are you?
The
Okay,
pictures were helpful.
Mhm.
Okay.
You should give me pictures when you do your story.
I've sort of
I'll
started
keep that in
now.
mind.
Okay, so let me see. So yeah, they have the meal at this Andrew Gilmore. He's the medical student. So they have tea with him, all four of them. And then John and Edwin, they head back to their accommodation in Brodick that he's booked, still in the Isle of Arran. And Francis and William, they go and they find accommodation on a yacht, one of their friends. So that's fine. And on the Sunday, John and Edwin, they just spend the day wandering about Arran, just having fun and just not doing anything exciting. And then the next day, the four of them meet up again until about 3:30. William and Francis, they get back on the steamer about 3:30 and they head off to the Isle of Bute again, leaving John and Edwin on the Isle of Arran because they're going to climb Goatfell Mountain. But before what's his name, Francis and William go, they tell Edwin, don't go up the mountain with him. We don't trust him. He's been awful quiet. There's something not right. So they give him that warning, but he ignores it, and the pair of them go and begin to climb up Goatfell. And the Goatfell was really popular with tourists and climbers, so it wasn't quiet. You know, they passed people that were going slower than them, and they were passed by people that were going faster than them, and they were just chatting with everybody. You know, there was no problem. They seemed to be getting on fine. And then the last time they were seen together was at the summit of Goatfell about 6:20 p.m. by about 5 witnesses. And then 3 days later, on the Thursday, the 18th of July, Edwin's family became concerned because he hadn't returned from his holidays. He was expected to. By Monday, the 22nd of July, Edwin's family began to make inquiries at the Isle of Bute because that's where they thought Edwin, you know, that's where he went on holiday, and they tried to determine his whereabouts. And then on the 27th of July, his brother Benjamin, finally goes to the Isle of Arran to try and find out where this John Annandale, who everybody's told him was with his brother Edwin, who we know as John Laurie. So he goes and he speaks to the accommodation that they were staying in Brodick, and the landlady says that on the Tuesday the 16th, this was the day after that they'd gone to climb up the mountain, she'd gone to waken the two men up about 11 o'clock, and the room was empty. It was empty. They weren't there. Their bags weren't there. It was gone, and they hadn't paid their bill. So she was a bit annoyed, but she just put it down to a learning experience. So he then, hold on. So the brother then found out that John Laurie had been seen again on the Tuesday at 7 a.m. on the ferry leaving the Isle of Arran, but there was no Edwin. And the last confirmed sighting of him was at 6:20 p.m. on Monday the 15th at the summit of Goatfell. Dun, dun, dun.
What the hell was that?
I love it.
Got the attention with a knife. We're all like standing here.
We're like, I'm like, oh, he definitely. God damn it! I just dropped the last bite of bread. Thanks a lot, Dana.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, we were all like hanging on every word you were saying.
Oh God.
I'm like, he definitely did it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just okay. But anyway, I'll carry on. So it's like been all these years later, and you know what? It's still debated. It's still debated now whether. Anyway, I'll carry on and tell you. So on Sunday the 28th of July, so this is 13 days after the last sighting of Edwin, a full-scale search is finally organised on Goatfell. But despite 200 people, probably most of the locals, climbing up Goatfell, it was really horrible terrain. It was really dangerous. There were exposed drops, and there was drops up to 32 feet, about 15 meters. And they said that some parts of the mountain looked like they'd never been visited by a human. Are you laughing?
I think the picture is just really delayed. That's why. Because when you said someone put their hand up, I think it was just. I think it's just the picture's really delayed, and you're frozen, and you have been for a while. So.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah.
Because I just turned around and just the three of you are sitting laughing. I'm like, what the fuck?
Zoom's a hell of a bitch.
Yeah. No. I think the picture's just delayed. You're good.
Oh, talk about making me
We probably
paranoid.
looked totally crazy when we were laughing a minute ago. We were all sitting there like staring at the screen.
Yeah, God, getting a complex now. Okay, so anyway, so the mountain, it's really bad terrain. It takes them a long time. Anyway, it isn't until a week later, on the Sunday the 4th, so they finally find Edwin's body. And if you look at the picture now, have you seen that other one with the big boulder, the big rock, somebody standing beside it?
I did send up that.
Yeah, we did see that one. Yeah.
So his body's found under that massive boulder, which is like a big ledge.
Under?
Yeah, he's found under it. Okay, he's found face down, and it's like they say that there's a man-made wall of 42 stones concealing the entrance. It's been placed all around the side of it to conceal his body. So that's where he's found. Okay,
so that's not a place you get accidentally.
Exactly. But okay, no, but just wait. There's more. There's more.
All right, put a pin in it.
All right.
Okay. So, they get there's a doctor on the island on holiday, and he's called Dr. Andrew Gilmore. And they get him and a local doctor called William Fullerton. And they come up to the mountain, and they just do a little examination of him from where he's found, where Edwin was found. And they said that he was found with severe injuries to his head and his face. He was so bad that they couldn't identify him by, by his facial description. They had to identify him by his clothing. Okay, hold on. And when he was found, he was lying like face down, but he was wearing a long coat, and the bottom of it was pulled up over his head. So he was lying with over his head with him face down. That was how he was found. His pockets were empty, but then high above on the ridge up above, there was a walking stick, a torn waterproof coat, a knife, a button, a pencil, and a cap that was found folded up with a stone placed on it in the middle of a stream, like a small stream. So that was what was found up there. So the following day, the Dr. Gilmore and Dr. Fullerton did a complete examination of Edwin's body. They found that he had a broken shoulder, his upper vertebrae was detached, he had broken ribs and a buttock wound. All of the injuries were on his left side, but his clothing was only damaged around his shoulder and his buttock wounds. There was no damage to his limbs, his head or his hands, and there was no sign of extensive bleeding. No sign of extensive bleeding. Yeah. Okay. So
his buttocks.
Yes, his buttocks. Did you like that?
So like,
it's very proper.
So like he either fell, hit his shoulder, and hit his ass on the way down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody hit his ass at
kicked
the top.
kicked his ass off the edge. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're very smart. I'm not sure if you knew this, but
You could be detectives.
You've done this before, haven't you? Okay, let me think. So obviously, because Edwin was found under the boulder with such severe injuries, the police were keen to speak to the last person that he'd been seen with, which was John Annandale, who is obviously John Laurie, but they don't know that. And that was the last time he was seen at 6:20 on the top of Goatfell. So a witness came forward, first of all, to the police that said they had seen John near a graveyard in Corrie, which is still on the Isle of Arran, about half an hour or so away from his accommodation in Brodick. And he said that he came down from the way he was there, he's seen him about between 9 and 9:30, and that was him coming down from Goatfell Mountain. And that he said that was a particularly difficult route he's used to come down. He didn't know why he would come down that way because he wasn't, an experienced climber. So that was a bit strange. John was then seen again next at the Corrie Hotel at 10 p.m. and he just had a drink, but he didn't go into the bar. It was like you could get a drink through a window. It was like, how petrol stations close at a certain time and you have to go through the window and pay for things or something.
Yeah.
So he actually asked somebody else if he could get him a drink through the window. So they got him a drink through the window, and then he sat down outside. Everybody else went in, but he stayed outside, had his drink, and then he headed back to his accommodation. So that was about shortly after 10 o'clock. It would have taken about 2 hours actually to get to his accommodation walking. So he should have been there about just after midnight. And then he was seen again at 7 o'clock on the ferry, leaving the Isle of Arran and going to the mainland. He was also then seen again on the train from the mainland getting the train from the mainland up to Greenock, which is about 41-minute drive northwest of Glasgow. And he was seen by the same man, and it was, I said, the medical student that they'd all had dinner with way back, Andrew Gilmore. So he was the one that saw this John on the ferry leaving Arran at 7 o'clock in the morning. John then travelled to his home in Glasgow. And then I don't know why though, because he went all the way up to, so it was like, if you can see in the map, you've got it coming into the mainland, then he goes up to Greenock, then he goes all the way over east to go to Glasgow. Don't know what he's doing to go to his accommodation. And then he comes all the way back the same day, comes all the way back to Greenock again, and then gets the ferry back over to the Isle of Bute. So I don't know what he was doing, heading there just for the day and then going all the way back over to the Isle of Bute again. But anyway, he goes there and he checks in to the Iona Place guest house again as John Annandale. And it is here that a witness said they saw him with a striped jacket that was known to belong to Edwin Rose. Now, this happened on Tuesday, the 16th of July, but the search for Edwin didn't actually happen until the 28th of July.
There's so much.
There's nobody has any sign of him for like 10 days. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
10 days or 3 days?
I thought it was
Well-
16th to the 28th.
So he's last seen, he was last seen on the 15th, up on the Monday the 15th, Edwin was last seen, but then the search didn't actually happen for him until the 28th, because the time his brother didn't come home again, and his brother
So like
raised
2
an alarm.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was lying up there for 2 weeks, and this John was just going about his business, still enjoying his holiday back to Bute to have his holiday.
Right.
So it was Saturday, the 20th of July, which is 8 days before the search of Edwin takes place. John leaves the Isle of Bute, so he's had a lovely holiday. He doesn't pay his bill again. He travels back to his accommodation where he's living in Glasgow. And then he just carries on with his daily routines, going to work, and he just carries on as normal until the 31st of July, when at this point he's confronted by, do you remember the guy he was on the boat with right back at the beginning, James Aitken?
Yeah.
When he first met Edwin Rose? Well, he didn't just meet James Aitken at the hotel in Bute. They knew each other, were acquainted back in Glasgow. So when the news broke of Edwin Rose being missing, James confronted John and said, I know you're John Annandale. I know that's your name, even though you're John Laurie, and I know you were with Edwin. So what happened to him? And he said, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. He came over in the boat with me, and then he just went away down to England." And James said, "I don't believe you. I'm going to the police to tell them that you're John Annandale." So at this point, John, he packed in his job, he sold all his tools, and he went on the run. And he was a month just traveling about Scotland and England, just trying to evade the police.
There's
Okay.
definitely shade there.
I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something is definitely questionable.
But what? I'll keep going. I've got loads to say, but I'm just going to tell you the story, because otherwise
Okay. All
I'll
right.
tell you too much, and then you'll be like, "What?"
Okay.
Okay. So where am I? I'm lost. Oh, lost my place. Sorry, Dana.
Dana and Nydia do that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So he wanders about Scotland and England, just trying to evade the police. But while he's wandering about, he decides to write into a few newspapers and just rambling a lot of the time. But one of the stories he says, he said to the papers that he planned to take his own life. And then he said that before, he said that he did go to the summit with Edwin, and that was the last time he's seen him, and he left him there at the top in the company of 2 other men who said they were going to go back to Brodick with him. That was the last time he said he's seen him. And he said that he then went on to spend the evening with his friends till about 10 o'clock when he went to the hotel in Corrie, which is that was where he was placed. But that he said he could easily prove this, but he's not going to bring his friends' names into it because it's just ridiculous. He's not going to do that. And instead, he's just going to take his own life. Another one he sends in to another paper, and he just says, "I smile when I read that my arrest is expected hourly." So he's just being weird. But anyway, if he didn't do it, and he is, then why is he being so weird and just,
Yeah.
if you had an alibi and it was true, then why would you just say, "Oh, I'm not going to bring them into it"? I'm just going to take my own life instead. It's just silly.
Yeah, it's awfully suspicious.
But he didn't take his own life.
No, he didn't. But then on Tuesday, the 3rd of September, when he's been on the run for just about a month, he's finally spotted in Hamilton, which is about 26-mile drive southeast of Glasgow, and the police give chase. They eventually found him. He's hiding in a bush, and he's actually attempted to take his own life, and he's tried to slit his throat with a razor, but he didn't manage it. And then he just, as he was being cautioned and charged, he just said, "I robbed the man, but I did not murder him."
Oh, so he robbed him.
He robbed him. So he's admitted that he robbed him.
They never fully get their own throat, do they? When they
No, they never fully do. They're like, "Well, this hurts."
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That feels aggressive.
Yeah, that's a fucking aggressive way to end your life.
Yes.
It does, doesn't it? It's severe. I couldn't do that.
No. Neither can they, clearly.
No. He was annoyed at himself that he couldn't do it, I think, though, he said. So anyway, while he's on the run, all this time, there's a funeral held for Edwin Rose, and he's actually buried on the Isle of Arran, even though he's from, South London. So I don't know why that would be. I don't know whether that's a tradition back then. I'm not sure. But the other thing I have to tell you, which is just a little folklore about Arran, about the Isle of Arran, and it actually came out at the trial. It was that if you die on Arran, if you're murdered on Arran, the Isle of Arran, you've got to have your shoes buried above the water, where the tide comes in, above the water mark, because if you don't have your shoes buried, then it means that your spirit will forever walk that island. So they did that. It came out at the trial that the policemen, believing that they buried his shoes when they were actually meaning to get them for evidence to find out if it could show whereabouts he'd been on the mountain, but the shoes were buried. That was good. Okay, let me see.
The shoes are buried.
You gotta bury the shoes. It's important.
Yeah.
What happens if you die and you're barefoot? You gotta bury your socks.
Oh,
your
that's
toenails.
You're in trouble.
You're
No, they gotta put shoes on
condemned.
your feet.
No, it has to be the shoes that you got killed with.
Yeah, it
Oh,
has to be these shoes. It's
that's
very
unfortunate.
Your
You have to
ghost
walk
is
the
just
aisle.
gonna be walking.
Wow.
Weird. Well, he was buried on the 5th of August on Arran, but then on the 27th of September, his body was exhumed because his chest and abdominal cavities hadn't been checked at the original examination. So, that was carried out and they were checked, and it said that there was nothing in the chest cavity, and his liver and other abdominal organs were in a reasonable condition. So everything was okay.
Okay.
So that was just a little aside. So, okay, then we're on to the trial. Okay, this is when it gets interesting.
Okay.
Promise.
No, it's already interesting. Yeah, we're into it.
We're like, what is the mystery? Because it sounds like he killed him.
Okay, so at the trial on the 8th of November, the defence's stance is, which was instructed by John Laurie. He never actually spoke at the trial, but he was instrumental in what they said. And his stance was that he and Edwin had, even though saying to the other guy that he'd left him at the top of the mountain with 2 other men, now he's saying that they both came down Goatfell Mountain together. No, didn't come down together. They came down, but they came down independently. They took different routes. So when he was seen coming down at the graveyard by one person, well, Edwin had apparently gone down a different way. That was what his was. So they just basically went their separate ways at the top of Goatfell. That was the last time he saw him.
Right.
That was what his stance is. The witnesses were the witnesses were called from Arran. They were questioned, but the main people that they spent a lot of time with were 3 medical witnesses, who was Andrew Gilmore, William Fullerton, and Henry Littlejohn. And they were questioned because their theory was, after looking at the body, that he'd been beaten to death by a rock instead of, that said that he'd fallen.
Yeah.
But the defense also had their own medical people, but they had never looked at the body, but they were saying that he definitely it was an accident and he fell, but then conceded that he might have been murdered. But then the three Crown prosecution witnesses, medical ones, they said no, he definitely was murdered, but then conceded that no, he could have fallen, could have been an accident. So it's just like, okay. So
He could have
was,
fallen and then got buried under a 42 stones or whatever you said.
yeah, under the rock with 42 stones around it. So it just was, there was nothing, it was all circumstantial. There was no weapon found. There was, okay, he'd been pulled under the rock, but they're saying, but he could have fallen. He could have fallen, and then he could have got off, panicked and pulled him under the rock, but he didn't kill him. Or it's just, it was all circumstantial. There was nothing to place him there. There was nothing to say that he didn't have any of his things on him other than that jacket that I'd been seen with. And anyway, the judge said after the first day, he said, right, basically, I've not got time for this. I'm inpatient and I want this cleared up by tomorrow. So it was a 2-day trial for like a murder. A possible murder. And he's just like, no, that's it, I want it cleared up. So the Crown managed to call 43 witnesses in that time.
Jesus Christ.
No, 53 witnesses, sorry.
Oh my God.
And then the
In
defense
2 days?
in 2 days, and the defense managed to call 7. I mean, I don't know how they managed to. Was it just a case of, right, they're on the bed, they're on there, and it's like, did you see anything? No. Did you see it? No. And I don't know how they managed to go through all that.
Wow.
So it was crazy. So, and then basically, he said, what did he say? Basically they went through their witnesses. They were trying to prove, defense was trying to say that he possibly fell backwards, and that was what his injuries were, him falling off the ledge, and he received, he didn't get hit by the rocks that were never found. Anyway, hold on. I've got lost again. Oh, the other thing is, they said, the defense said that if he had hit him over the head, bashed him in the head, it was so severe, I mean, his skull was, in bits, then there would have been blood everywhere. But they said, oh, he didn't have any blood on his clothing. But remember, he'd been on the run for like a month. So of course, when you caught him, he's not going to be in the same clothes.
That's good old detective work.
Yeah, isn't it? So I don't know what that was about. But
what about blood at the scene? Like, if they were suggesting
there wasn't, because it rained. It was all rain, and they even said, they even said, I mean, it looked like he had been dragged under. He dragged from where he lay. He'd been dragged under the stone. But then they even said, well, how? Because it was all rained and everything had moved, so you couldn't even. They just couldn't prove anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just, it sounds like he probably did it, but I think was it an accident? Did he fall or did he push him? I think that's what it was. And because everything was so circumstantial, everybody expected him to get off with it because of that. And anyway, so the jury, the other thing was, do you remember Dr. Andrew Gilmore? And there was a Dr. Andrew Gilmore who, he looked at the body up on the mountain and examined it. And then there was a Dr. Andrew Gilmore, the medical student, do you remember, that they all had tea with? Well, they were father and son. And so the son had been in the presence, with all of them having tea. So and he was friends with the 2 guys that told Edwin not to go up the mountain with him because he was being really quiet and he just didn't trust him. But then his dad was the one that was on the stand, basically trying to prove that John had murdered him. But that was never disclosed. They never disclosed that there was a relationship there, that he was maybe a little bit biased. It was maybe, but that wasn't disclosed. That was kept secret as well. And the other thing was, why he was so quiet was because he had toothache. That's why he wasn't very talkative. He had toothache. So
An
there you go.
1800s toothache has got to be no
Yeah.
joke.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a matter of life and death.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
that keeps me quiet if I have a
I mean,
toothache
that's like-
now.
It's the
They
only
take
thing that
like a
keeps me
big
quiet.
railroad spike and like hit it out with a rock and shit. Like,
Well,
throw a leech in there for good
maybe
measure.
that's what John was trying to do to Edwin. Oh, but it wasn't Edwin that had the toothache. It was John that
It
had
was
the toothache.
John,
Andrew.
and that's why I was quiet, because
Yeah.
because the two friends warned him, don't go up the mountain with him because he's been weird and just a bit quiet. And he's saying, oh, I was quiet because I had toothache. Not that I'm weird.
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
so they were making a big deal of they were trying to prove, let's get this right. They were trying to prove that they both had come down. Let me think. Okay, so remember there was the guy at cemetery who said that they saw Edwin come down about 9:30, and they said it was a really strange route that he'd taken if he had come down that way, because it was it was the dangerous route and not a lot of people use it. Well, they were trying to say, you don't remember that, do you? There was the guy,
No.
there was a guy at the cemetery, and he was with two girls. I don't know what they were doing there together. But and the guy said he saw John walking past about 9:30 on the Monday, the day that he came down off the mountain by himself. And he said he didn't know why he would come down that way. They were trying to say they didn't know why he came down that way because it was really a bad and dangerous way, and he wouldn't do it late at night. And the Crown were saying he went that way because he was trying to get Edwin into a quiet, secluded area where not a lot of people would go. But the
Right.
defence were saying no, what it was he'd probably just got lost. It was dark, it was misty, it was raining, he probably just got lost and ended up coming down that way, but he didn't mean to. It was just an accident. So that was another part of the defence of the case. But anyway, I'll carry on. So anyway, the judge, he was just wanting to get over with, and he said that there was the jurors that went out, they did their summing up, they went out and it took 45 minutes to come back, and there was a verdict of guilty. But
45 minutes
Wow.
on a 2-day trial.
On a
Yeah.
2-day trial where the guy was
Yeah.
missing for fucking weeks and weeks. Like,
With
Yeah.
60
60 plus witnesses, whatever.
yeah,
yeah, I know.
53 from one side, 7 from the other side.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
he's found guilty.
He was found guilty, but only by 8 of them thought he picked guilty, but 7 of them picked the not proven verdict, which is the thing, he could be guilty, but there's not enough evidence, so we're not sure.
Right.
So that was fine. So anyway, there was uproar about this because everybody thought he wouldn't get found guilty because it was all circumstantial. They didn't believe it. So anyway, he was sentenced to hang, but then there was lots of petitions and protests, and eventually one day before he was due to hang, the sentence was reduced to life imprisonment.
Wait,
Okay.
they hanged him?
They
Oh,
were
because
going
it was
to-
back in the
they were gonna.
1800s.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then they commuted it to life in prison.
Put him in life in prison. Edwin's family weren't happy about it because they said that if Edwin had been Scottish, they would have hung him, but because he was English, they didn't. But it wasn't that, it was just all the protests and everything. But anyway, John Laurie went on to spend 40 years and 11 months in prison, which is the longest prison period anybody's ever been incarcerated in Scotland. And he
Ever?
died. Yep. And he died in 1930.
I thought life sentence meant like your whole life.
No,
that's what
not in
she's-
Scotland.
Oh.
No.
What is it, like 25 years?
She just said he spent 40 years in prison.
I understand that, but is it
40
typically like 25?
There's no typical. They just you get a minimum. They just decide whatever the judge decides. There's a minimum, and you have to spend the minimum amount that they say in prison before you'll be eligible for parole.
Oh.
So it just depends on what the judge gives you and the crime.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
I would assume that the people that chose non-proven in the States, they would say that would be like
A hung
the
jury?
reasonable doubt people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
if they just couldn't prove it, there seems
But
like
if half of them
but it
were,
wasn't proven.
yeah, but if half of them were on the guilty verdict and the other half were on the, it's not enough evidence, it would be a hung jury and they would
Right,
have to
in
retry
the
it.
States, it would be
Right.
a mistrial.
Right.
But
Well, a lot
even
of
back in the
people say-
1800s?
Well, I don't know about that.
A lot of people said that if they had, because he was only charged with murder, but a lot of people said if he'd been charged with murder and robbery, because he had robbed from him as well, then the jury could have said, well, we don't find him guilty of murder, but he definitely robbed him, and that would have still got him a prison sentence. But
Oh,
rather than being so, definitely guilty when maybe they weren't sure. So that was one thought.
But that's probably why they did that, because then if they did think he was guilty, then he could have got off in a way lesser sentence of just robbery.
right.
Yeah,
True.
But so I think so. It is still debated today. And you know how I was talking about the 42 stones that were placed round like a wall?
Yeah.
Well, because it was made out like he deliberately made this little wall around it so that he was to hide the body. But apparently, the wall that they were talking about, it didn't look new, and it actually had turf, in between the stones. So it was like been there for a while. I mean, I think it had been a shelter for somebody, so I don't think he's going to have the time to be, making a nice wee wall with some turf in between it all. So I think the wall was already there, and he maybe just put a couple over the thin entranceway, just to conceal the body.
Okay, so like he dragged him there or something and threw him in.
Yeah, but
So
the
he's
thing,
hidden.
but the thing is, it's still debated today, and actually, people that like experts will go to like a community hall, and a whole people will come there, and they'll give them all the facts, and then to this day, it's still debated: was it an accident or did he push him? Still don't know. What do you think?
I think that he robbed them and pushed them, definitely.
Yeah.
Why would it be an accident? Like, it doesn't suggest, I mean, if you're robbing somebody and they accidentally fall, I mean, you're still robbing them. So would it be like
Yeah, it's like
manslaughter?
when manslaughter, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, probably I would think if you were gonna rob somebody, it's like easier to like plonk them over the head with a big old rock,
Exactly.
run their pockets,
But
take the jacket, throw them, and then
And
whoop,
push
off
them.
the-
Yeah.
But like
Exactly.
here, it would be considered felony manslaughter. So that makes
Not if you clock them over the head.
But I mean, if it's unintentional murder, but with the intent of robbing, that carries a heavier weight
Look at
than
Cindy
just.
being
I know, but I
lawyer.
feel like in the 1800s, like it was like you robbed them, you killed them, you raped them. We're not all these like little
Yeah, the little,
Yeah,
like the
no.
nuances of what that is to like make things a little bit more
Right.
fair, quote unquote.
But that doesn't sound mysterious at all, because here's the thing. He robbed him, took his jacket. I like that jacket. Let me have it. Let me have it here. See? And he yanks it, and then he puts his shirt over his head, and he pushes him because
and then
he
climbs
doesn't
down,
need any witnesses.
drags his body into the
Right.
thing.
Once he sees the body all fallen.
Right. And then he fucking beats feet for months.
Right.
And then he's like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like all of this is very very
Exactly.
suspicious behavior.
Well,
Right.
I get that back in the day you can use any name, but it sounds like
he came out there with a purpose.
he came up there with the purpose of doing some shade.
Yeah.
Also, what happened to the girlfriend that was cheating?
Thank you. Yes. What
Nothing.
happened to the girlfriend?
He never paid it, because that was the other thing they said. If he, what was his motive? They didn't have a motive. Okay,
Right.
the robbery, but they're saying if he had a motive to kill the guy that the girlfriend was with, because that's what he went there in the first place for, not to meet some random guy that he could take up the mountain and rob of a jacket. That was
right.
That didn't make
Right.
sense.
And it wasn't Edwin's idea to climb the mountain?
Yes. So it was just a chance meeting. It's not as if he went there with them and thought, oh yeah, like this is what we'll do when we go there. It was Edwin's idea.
Now, could it have been that Edwin was the one that was stooping the girlfriend? Stooping. We're using old words.
I don't think it was him. No, I
It
don't
wasn't
think it was
Edwin
him.
though.
I'm just saying.
Or maybe wait, hear me out.
Let's add some.
Maybe
stories.
maybe he's like all bummed out, right? He's on the boat, he finds out his girl, whatever, like he's not gonna win the girl back, right? He's on the boat and the guy's like, hey man, you seem so sad. Let's go on a hike. It like clears what ails you or whatever,
Mhm.
And then they go up there and then maybe they're like drinking or something, like that's probably what they do. And then he fucking Glasgow what this
Punch.
called? He
Glasgow
punch
kisses.
him in the
Glasgow
head. Yeah,
kiss.
a Glasgow kiss. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. He headbutts him, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, that's why your girl cheated on you because you're lame and shit. And then he headbutts him, and then he robs him. He's like, why are you talking crazy?
right.
And then he's like, oh my God, that was aggressive. I shouldn't have done that. But I should put him in this hole I found here because that seems like a good idea.
But it wasn't Edwin that was getting cheated on, it was John.
John.
Right. I'm saying Edwin was the one talking shit.
Oh, I see.
You know, like he was just up there like, yeah, that's why
Right.
your girl. That's why you're like a whack ass bitch.
So what about if, you know, it was a really dangerous mountain, there was these bloody big ledges with 32-foot drops. What if Edwin had fallen? What if he had fallen? And then he'd taken his chance and thought, oh well, he's dead, I might as well
Right.
rob him. But maybe he panicked and thought, okay, nobody's going to believe that this was an accident, so I'm going to
Right.
have, what do I do? Do I tell people? They're not going to believe me, I'm going to get done. So what about, I'll hide the body and hope that it never gets found. What about that? But then,
Yeah, I mean,
going back to the accommodation and taking his bag, that was stupid. He could have left it, because he's just saying
right.
that I know he's dead, he's not coming back for it. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, like, do we even know like specifically what he stole? Like, we don't know how much money maybe he had, or
No, and all that stuff that was left up in the ledge as well. The judge actually said before the jury went out that he believed John had taken all the stuff that was there and he just thrown it about up on the ledge to make people believe that Edwin had just fallen and his stuff was scattered. So he
right?
planted that wee seed
Mm.
to the jury just before they went out to make their decision.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
yeah, you're
That's
right.
very
Because going
possible.
back for the bag was dumb.
Yeah, that was. If he'd left that, then I might have thought, well, he didn't know. But he's taken it, so he does know he's not coming back for it.
I mean,
But-
especially with no motive, it does kind of make sense that like, oh my God, he fell. It seems like a waste not to just get the cash off the body.
Yeah.
Right. Also, he doesn't pay his bill when he leaves his hotel. So,
Right.
I mean, he's not an upstanding citizen.
Right.
No, no, he's not.
Did anybody question the girlfriend? Maybe she had some
No.
like background knowledge about what a shithead he was.
No.
Was there really a girlfriend?
Right. Was there a girlfriend?
Well, yeah, I don't know. That was the
I mean,
story. but
obviously he's a shithead because he left London
yeah.
to go all the way to fucking.
He left Glasgow.
He's
Oh,
Glasgow.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he left Glasgow to
Yeah.
go chase his girlfriend and her new
Yeah.
man. Like, obviously he's a shithead.
Well, that's his saying.
True,
You know,
right.
we don't know if it's true.
I mean, that
What
doesn't
if-
look good though.
What if there was some kind of you know, gay relationship there? Was there any type? No, because here's the
She
thing.
goes through the gay
She
relationship
tried
time.
to armed fucking wrestle a gay love story into every.
No,
Okay,
that's
hear me out,
honestly,
hear me
that's
out.
good. No, that's good
They
though.
meet on a freaking little ferry. Why do they decide to stay in a freaking place for a whole week together?
And that's really good. That was brought up as well, Nadia, that because it was Edwin that approached John on the ferry.
Right.
And John, when they stayed at that the wee accommodation, the room in Arran, they actually stayed in the same bed together. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe Edwin had a wee thing for
Well-
John, and then when they were up the mountain, maybe he tried something, and John just like pushed him, and off he went. You know,
That's some Brokeback Mountain type.
Right.
Shit
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. What if there was never a girlfriend? What if it was Edwin that was stooping somebody else, like maybe Andrew? He found out about it and he's like, I'm done with this. You're rolling down the hill.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I've cracked the case. John and Edwin were having sexual relations. That's why he had an injury to his buttocks. And John was like, you know, he's probably like in denial about his sexuality. And Edwin was like, you know, what are we gonna do now? This is our last night. They're at the top of the freaking mountain. And he's like, I'm not here for that gay shit. And he pushes him. You know what I'm saying? Because he hates himself too. Because John hates
like
himself.
inward
his-
homophobia.
Yeah, like that.
Internalized
Yes.
homophobia. Yeah.
That's what I think it was.
this gives a whole new definition to Brokeback Mountain.
Right?
Go something mountain.
That's right.
Go to mountain.
Goat Hell Mountain.
Goat fell.
Yeah. Goat Fell Mountain.
Well,
Isn't-
we've cracked the case.
I mean, that's
See, I still
In
don't
what
know.
other way would two men share a bed for a
Yeah.
whole week?
Well, they're
That-
cheap.
I mean, yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
was
You know
anybody
that
really watching
when
them
they-
share the bed?
I
I mean, they
think it's
could have been
romantic.
sleeping on the floor.
when they give each other the
Mm.
hug and they double pat on their back, they're like, no homo, no homo. Like,
Well, that's a good.
Ed was a man in his 30s. He wasn't married. Think about it, Dana. This is the 1800s.
they could have just been best friends. History will say they were
Well-
best friends.
But they
I'm
didn't
just-
know each other though. They'd never met other than on that boat, and it was Edwin that
Yeah.
went and approached him. That was the first time they met, and then suddenly they're doing everything together.
Wow.
Yeah,
Love at
Mhm.
first sight.
that's
Mhm.
right. It was a meet cute.
One
Not
way.
so cute at the end.
It didn't end very cute.
No, it didn't.
So you still
But-
sure it was definitely murder then, like premeditated, or are you thinking maybe could he have fallen?
I feel like robbery turned murder.
Yeah.
Unless we strong arm this gay shit in here, which honestly, now that you said it, I am I am sort of leaning towards like a romantic affair and like
Yeah.
gone wrong at the last
Mhm.
night together on the mountain.
Yeah, like I can't leave any. I've had this romantic interlude with this man. It's the 1880s.
Yeah.
He's going back to London. I'm not going to see him again. I need to get rid of this evidence.
But also really like whatever the motive, like whether it be I just don't think he just fell. Like that doesn't feel right. to
What
me.
did Edwin do for a living?
He was just a clerk in a builder's. He wasn't
Okay.
just a
A
normal
man's
clerk,
man.
nothing fancy. But I think he was trying to be something he wasn't as well. I think he was trying to make it was with the clothes he was wearing, and he was wearing a fancy little golfing outfits, and I think he was trying to pretend he was more richer than he was.
Fancy little
A
golf.
fancy little golfing outfit.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Sounds gay to me.
That was a gay man if I ever heard one. Crack
So
the
cracked
case.
it. We've done
Scotland, You
it.
can rest easy now. You're welcome.
We figured it out at the
That's
crime.
No longer a mystery.
I mean, it doesn't feel accidental to me.
It
Certainly.
sounds like some gay shit.
I mean, everything does, but it certainly doesn't feel like. What do you think? Do you think it was murder, or do you think it was an accident?
I'd like to think that he didn't premeditate it, and he either had a little fight with him or something up in the mountain, and either pushed him or he lost his footing, and then he thought shit and panicked. That's what I think. And he thought, what am I going to do? Nobody's going to believe me, which we haven't. And
Yeah.
he hid the body. That's what I think. And then thought, well, I might as well just try and hide everything. But then, and if you did panic and you were like, oh God, you wouldn't be able to live with yourself. You wouldn't be like going on the run and then writing all this shit to the newspapers, would you?
Right.
So-
Such strange behavior.
Right.
Yeah. So
Seems
that,
histrionic, really.
yeah.
Yeah, I certainly don't think it was premeditated because like he didn't even know the guy
Yeah.
until right before.
Then he really knew him.
Yeah. We're going with that one, aren't we?
She's not gonna let it go. What
I'm
if
not.
she can find an angle to fit
Make
some
it
gay
gay.
shit? She'll hang on tight. She'll grin and bear it.
No, I was just curious because, like I say, they still debate it all these years, and they have like groups that meet up, and it's like a night out debating
Really?
what happened.
Wow.
Really?
No,
That would be
yeah,
fun.
I know.
Like a murder
wouldn't it?
mystery type of situation.
Yeah,
But it's
just,
true crime murder.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
I love it.
That's what you think. So I just thought I wanted to know what you guys thought. So now
Well,
I
you've heard it.
now I know.
I could not be more clear.
Yeah. And see that little stone, well, the boulder that he was under, you can actually still go up there and spend a night there if you want to. It's like
Oh,
cramped.
hell to the no.
There's like no headroom, and you just have to lie there flat, but you can spend the night there if you want to.
No.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No. Listen, I'm into some outdoorsy shit.
That's
No,
as
I'm not-
outdoorsy as
Far.
it gets.
I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna cozy up in where the dead body was, like, like a fucking sardine in a can. Like,
You went on a date with a lesbian.
you would. I followed girls into some fucking sketchy places. That's
Yeah.
very true.
And I think that was Edwin's mistake. too.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
We're all sucker for a cute booty. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Wow.
Well, that's it. That's it. I've laid it all out.
Wow.
I'm gonna stick with the gay. It was some gay shit. I love it. It was some Goatfell Mountain stuff.
Goatfell
Yeah.
Mountain, yeah. It is like
Yeah.
it is like Brokeback Mountain, isn't it? Oh my
Yeah, it
god,
is.
Goatfell Mountain.
You set the scene, everything.
Oh god, yeah.
You know, and then when when they're doing it, you know, and the one's like trying to fight it, even though he likes
Yes.
it, and then like maybe there was a little tussle, and he's like, you know, you want it, but then it like throws him off the mountain by accident, and he's like, oh shit.
Wow, I gave it to you.
Yeah.
You wrapped it up, you put a bow on
I
it,
got
and
you, babe.
presented it.
You got it.
Wow.
I love it. It's really good.
Dawn, I will be thinking about this. This is something that I'm going to be thinking about as I'm driving.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, what really happened on that?
I know what really happened.
Well, if we ever make it to Scotland, then maybe we can
Oh
go
my
on
god,
the
I would
tour.
totally
We
go
could
on
go in
that
the
tour.
we could go in the debate. Yeah, how cool would that be?
Oh,
That would be
damn.
so fun.
Oh, I would stand up. I'd be like,
Yeah.
is this mic on? Is this mic on? My theory is that, and then people will be like, what's wrong with her?
They get us fucking deported out of Scotland.
Get
Get
this
these
American
fucking
out of here.
Americans with their podcast out of here.
Would be brilliant.
Yes.
But
there
it's
would-
not
a
as
big
good.
book would come
It's
out
not as
full
much
of-
of it's not as much of a mystery as that one with the plane you did. Like, did he? Well, where did he go out the door? How did that guy that
Oh
just
my God.
disappeared? That
Yeah, that
one
plane
was
story was
Oh
brilliant.
my
crazy.
God, yeah.
That was a proper mystery.
Yeah, it really was.
It was an awesome mystery.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. I want to know what
Yeah,
happened
that was a
so
group
bad.
mystery. That was like something that a group had to make happen.
Yeah,
Right.
that was a
And a
proper-
group of people kept it fucking quiet.
Right. They had
Which
to
is
all agree
so
on it.
shocking.
Right.
So
Yeah, because usually when one person knows,
right.
when more than one person knows, that's no longer.
Listen, don't make me Ben Franklin quote another misquote Ben Franklin for a third fucking time. I can't say his name anymore.
Well, it's about Dawn's bedtime now, so we're gonna end it here, and
Yeah.
we'll hopefully see you next week. And in the meantime, oh, go ahead, Dawn. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, no, I'm all wired up now. No way I'm going to be sleeping now.
So we'll see you next week. But in the meantime, subscribe so you don't miss out, and definitely subscribe to Scottish Murders because alone, her accent alone
Yeah.
is just enough. To
I've been
fall in love.
listening for a few weeks now. I'm like almost all caught up on your podcast.
Oh my
and
god.
I'm hooked on the accent, but
We have a few listeners from our side that are hooked on Scottish Murders
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
well. So this was like, oh, you're gonna have her on the show. They were very excited
I love
about it.
that. I love that we've got the same listeners. That's so cool.
yeah, it's great.
And
Yeah,
I
we
just
love
love your
having you on.
I
It was
love your
awesome.
podcast, man. Every time it's just like it's just so funny. Like there's not one time I haven't laughed out loud. I love it. Love it.
Sometimes we're serious and people laugh at us.
Yeah, if you heard our trying to figure out what actually Great Britain was, which we still do not fucking know.
The UK.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So anywho, definitely subscribe to Scottish Murders. I'm gonna go check her out because I was looking for a podcast to listen to, but like she's just delightful.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna start listening too. We have merch, we have Patreon, we have Buy Me a Coffee. You can write a review or share with someone, and you can connect with us on all the socials, literally all the socials. Dawn, where can they find you?
ScottishMurders.com. That's the best place. It's got everything.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Nice and easy to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should get to the
I
point.
don't remember anything else, so that's the easy one.
All right, guys. Well, check you out next week. And remember, do not get taken to that second location. Be good or be good at hiding the body. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you, thank you,
Oh
thank
my
you.
God.
Yes, that was so awesome.
So nerve-wracking. Have you
No,
chilled out
you
now,
killed
Lydia?
it. You did so good.
I love a good mystery.
I'm gonna stop recording so that way we can just chat.
And I think really like